What up, Bag Talk family? Today we're here to talk about job layoffs because job layoffs are going rampant right now and they may continue for the rest of 2023, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So don't panic. And we're going to explain why throughout this episode. And make sure you stick to the end because we have some fire tips for you if you happen to get laid off this year, whether now or in the future. But without further ado, let's get into it, Newski.
All right, bet. So everything I share will be in the description below, so you guys can follow along as well. But let's get into it. So the first thing we want to show you guys is that layoffs are obviously happening, right? And unfortunately, if you're a part of this, we do want to say sorry, but Amazon just laid off 18,000 employees, right? Salesforce laid off 8,000. Then you have other smaller companies that you see on screen like DoorDash, Plaid, Airtable, etc., etc. Now, if you see what this tweet says, 150K plus in just 2022. That means 150 people, like thousands of people were laid off. That's not a small number, right? So we understand layoffs are obviously happening as a part of everything in the economy that's going on. But it doesn't just stop in the tech sector. Goldman Sachs, which is the financial sector, is aiming to lay off about 4,000 employees this year, like 2023, right? So if you think about it, yes, that is a scary sight. And if you feel like you might be a part of future layoffs, once again, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to break down what you can do to avoid getting laid off. And if you do get laid off, what you can do to get another job. But bro, before we do that, bro, can you break down why layoffs and this whole thing that's happening in the economy might not be a bad thing for the actual market?
Yeah, so you gotta understand, y'all, like when there's a bull market, meaning like prices are continuously going up and there's money flowing throughout the economy, what these companies do is they start hiring more because it's a time for them to start expanding their company. So they need more production, they need more employees to bring out that production so they can make more profit and take advantage of the situation. But we're in a bear market now, right? So the reverse happens. We're also entering a recession potentially. And so companies are preparing for that. And so what they do is they start to lay off workers because they don't need them anymore. There's not money flowing all around no more. And so what you want to see in your companies, if you're an investor, is you want to see your companies adjust to the situation that's going on. And right now, if your company doesn't need all these employees, why the heck would they be paying out all these expenses every month to these employees that they don't need? That's hurting their bottom lines when their bottom lines already have downward pressure on them. So it's better to get rid of the employees, unfortunately, because these are people. But I'm just saying, from an investor standpoint, get rid of the employees so you can have a better bottom line and profit. And so that's why, as far you might have seen it with Meta. Meta laid off a lot of people last year in 2022, and their stock went nuts. Like it went crazy right after the layoffs because the investors like to see that. So don't think, oh man, I see my company laying people off. The one I'm invested in, man, it looks like it's not a good company no more. No, they're just adjusting to the economic environment. They're doing what they're supposed to do. And it's actually a positive thing. So,
Yeah, it sounds bad, right? It sounds really bad to say like, yo, like you see layoffs happening. How could you say that's positive? You have to understand, right? These companies are not doing layoffs because they have no cash on hand, right? Like Amazon, Meta, Google, all these big tech firms like Salesforce, for example, that you just saw layoffs. It doesn't mean they don't have cash on hand. They just overhired. So like in 2020 and 2021, when the markets were going extremely high, they overhired, guys. That's all that happened. Like you saw a lot of people getting jobs. Like on LinkedIn, if you're on that platform, every single day someone else was basically saying, I got this new role, I got this new job. And when that happened, what you saw was inflation went crazy, right? Everyone was getting higher wages, and it was not necessarily a good thing for the Fed, not for the individual, for the Fed. The Fed does not like to see when wages go crazy. So when now people are getting fired, that's what the Fed wants. So low key, we want this recession time period, the bad market to go away. The layoffs have to be a part of the cycle. It is what it is right now, right? So the Fed is probably happy this is happening. It's decreasing the wage inflation that's been going on. But if you got laid off and this is something you're not happy about, don't worry about it, right? Like we're going to break down what you could do to get a new job. And also just understand, Rel, back me up on this one, right? If you think I'm right here, but just because you got laid off doesn't mean you're a bad worker, correct?
Nah, it definitely does not. Your company got to do what they got to do, bro. It's bigger than you at this point.
Exactly. So now that we got that out the way, let's dive into what you can do. So the first thing I want y'all to do is not feel bad for yourself. I want y'all to take action, right? So, Rel, speak on this a little bit more, bro.
Like taking action as far as like building a skill, right? So, bro, listen, everybody, you give people the position to feed you, you're also giving them a position to starve you. And so what you want to do is find a way to feed yourself. And so I need everybody to build a skill, get a skill right now that can generate money for you. I'm sure you have a skill set that you're not tapped into, or you have a talent that you haven't tapped into yet. Start fostering it. Start maybe buy a course and learn a skill that could generate you income so that if your job happens to lay you off, you still have sources of income coming in. And obviously you always want to have your investments, but in a bear market, it's kind of hard. You're not seeing too much profits from it. So find something that generates income on a monthly basis so that it can help you pay some bills down, as well as build your reserves. While you have your job, build your reserves, everybody. I hope you were already doing that, because if you were listening to Bag Talk, we've been telling y'all to do that all last year because we knew what type of economy we were heading into. But if you haven't started building reserves yet, I need y'all to do that right now, man. Please, like, start building out your budget to know exactly what you need per month, and then save that same amount of expenses so you have a set amount of months of expenses saved in your bank account right now.
That's a fact. And now let's get into what you can do in terms of getting a new job, right? If you feel like you really don't have a skill, let's talk about it. So the first thing I need you guys to do is the company you got laid off from. We're just going to use Amazon as an example here, right? They laid off 18,000 people. What you need to do if you're a part of that group is reach out to your network within Amazon, because the people within Amazon have an external network, right? They know how you are as a worker. They know if you're good at your job or not, and they can connect you to another company that can get you another job. So you need to network. Another tip, which is tip number 2, is don't aim for the biggest, baddest company out there, guys. Like, if you were at Amazon, which is the best company or one of the best companies to be at, what you could do is go to a smaller company and apply there. A mid-sized firm would love to have an Amazon employee. A smaller sized firm would love to have an Amazon employee because they've been there, right? They know what it takes to run a big, large corporation, so they bring that experience with them. This is the third tip I need you guys to do. Go on LinkedIn, and this might be scary, but I need you guys to do it. Go on LinkedIn and just speak about your experience. Tell them that, yes, you were a part of getting laid off. Yes, you do have a bunch of years of experience. And if you don't have a bunch of years of experience, you think you have 1 or 2 years, talk about what you did at your job, right? Talk about what you learned, what skills you gathered, and then people will like that, right? Because we're going to take action. Like, if I got laid off, I would tell Rel, yo, Rel, can you please help me, right? He's in my network. He would like my post, and then everyone in his network would see he liked my post, and then it gets shared. LinkedIn is no different than Facebook, no different than Instagram. It's a social media platform for professionals. So it works the same way. And I want to show you guys a quick little picture of a legitimate post that people have, right? So right here, we had to obviously block this out, but this is legitimately someone that actually went on LinkedIn and they posted, unfortunately, I was impacted by a layoff at Amazon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What they did, and they asked for recommendations. Look, you could see people liked it. You could see people commented on it, right? And there's emails in there that's showing what you could do and where you could reach this person. So it's extremely helpful when it comes to this, because people will help you, right? At the end of the day, we're all human beings, y'all. We want people to do well. We want people to win. So don't be shy about getting laid off. It's not the best thing in the world, obviously, but in order to get another job, you need to actually speak up, right? Closed mouths do not get fed. So that's what I wanted to say when it comes to getting a job. Yo, Rel, talk to them about the resume part of it too.
Like, I was just about to speak on that. That's a fact, because y'all need to make sure your resumes are up to date. So after you get rid of this job, make sure you update your resume and tell them exactly what you did there and make sure it's perfect. And if you have trouble with that, or even if you feel like your resume is good, you should still get in touch with Brandon and Amit at Brand Resumes. So I need everybody to look up Brand Resumes, and they will bless you. We can actually put the link in the description to Brand Resumes so that you can contact their site, because I've seen them get people 6-figure jobs time and time again.
Mhm.
These guys are literally masters of their craft. It's really ridiculous how good they can make somebody's resume. So it's like, yo, that's the one-stop source for that. You want your resume to be good, you want to get a higher paying job, go to Brand Resumes for a fact. So check them out, yeah.
That's a fact. So basically, guys, if you were someone who got laid off, we want to once again say we're not bashing y'all whatsoever. We feel bad for you. We definitely want to give you guys sympathy, but we want you guys to take action as well. If you feel like you're about to get laid off, make sure you're continuing to provide value at your job and you're staying up to date with everything that's happening in the economy. The way to do that is by subscribing to our channel, right? So if you're still watching, we do want to say thank you. Hopefully you like this type of video, but please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Plus hit that little notification bell because we drop
2 videos 8 weeks.
and you don't want to miss them. Make sure you check out our next episode. And we actually have a fire episode where we interview someone and we want you guys to check it out because it's going to be for my content creators out there. Everyone who wants to be a creator, you need to check this episode out because there's gems being dropped by someone who has more than 250K subscribers on YouTube. So you need to check it out. It's a fire episode and we cannot wait. So we're going to check you out then. But until then, peace.
Peace.
Soundstripe.